Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? आज वाले केम छो? आज सब कैसे हो? So today I'm going over Mars' transit in the sign of Scorpio. So this transit is occurring from November 16th to December 28th of this year in 2023. Okay, now Mars returns to a sign every 2 years, right? It takes 2 years to go around the whole zodiac belt for Mars, okay? Reason why is there's 12 signs and each sign is about 2 months, okay? On average. Now, what is so unique about Mars in Scorpio? Not just the fact that Mars is in its own sign, but why is it so specifically this time is special? Okay, if you look, Saturn is 4 from Mars, and Mars is 10 from Saturn, which means they both throw an aspect on each other, a unique aspect on each other. Okay, this is not the same as if Mars and Saturn are 7 across from each other. Okay, that is a little bit different. This is a very, very different aspect when Saturn is 4 away from Mars and Mars is 10 away from Saturn, okay? Because they're both the only planets that throw, Mars is the only planet that throws a 4th aspect, and Saturn is the only planet that throws a 10th aspect, okay? So whenever they both throw these aspects on each other, and they're in their own sign, it is like, holy shit, okay? Not exactly like something's going to happen, but from a spiritual level, it is not something that you should necessarily think is just like every other transit. This is a very, very, very big opportunity to do a couple of things, okay? And there's a few other things that are happening here that also add to this. The first one, Jupiter's in Aries, okay? So it's able to guide Mars the way it needs to. And Rahu's in Pisces, so it is throwing an aspect on Mars as well. And Sun does transit Scorpio with Mars. So they both enter Scorpio at the same time, but Sun leaves because it goes quicker through Scorpio, okay? So Sun's effect is there. But yeah, let's just say all these effects, okay? So the Mars, Saturn's aspect on each other, Jupiter and Aries, Rahu and Pisces throwing the aspect on Mars, and then Sun in Scorpio with Mars, okay? So let's start with the first basics, okay? Mars in Scorpio and Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, so they're both aspecting each other. That's why that area is the strongest here, in my opinion. Okay, or that kind of sets this tone the best at a spiritual stage and allows everything to be built up from there. Okay, why? Because whenever Mars aspects Saturn with its 4th and Saturn aspects Mars, which its 10th, it is basically an opportunity to learn a lot through your frustrations, but the word opportunity is not the right word. It is basically saying you are going to have frustrations and you're going to have to learn from them. You're going to have a lot of frustrations. You might have more frustrations or worse frustrations. How exactly, you got to see everything. But frustrations are increased, or you're more aware about them, or something like that. They're more highlighted, and you're going to have to take care of them. Okay, you're going to have to try to take care of them, something like that, something along this effect. Okay, some flavor similar to what I just said is happening. Right, the frustrations are somehow more present, and your actions regarding you dealing with these frustrations are also more higher. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now, so this is a great time to, if you're an immature person, to become more mature. We all think we are super mature, but we all have learning to do, right? We all have more growing up to do. We all have more, and sometimes a lot of wisdom is gained through frustrations in life, okay? So I would encourage you to, first of all, understand that. So whenever you get frustrated, don't be like, oh, I'm getting so frustrated, blah, 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 and I have to do all this, my life sucks. That's not the point here. Point here is, okay, I'm getting frustrated because I know about this thing now, this Mars, Saturn, aspecting each other. So, okay, they are both aspecting each other. My frustrations are more present. How do I want my actions to be, okay? And my actions are going to help me deal with frustrations. Not necessarily now, okay? We're not thinking super short-term, super temporary here. That's not the goal here. The goal here is to say, hey, how do I learn how to deal with frustrations better? So when they happen again later, maybe not in this transit, the skills that I learned through this transit, the wisdom that I learned through this transit is present with me in the future, okay? That's that. Secondly, Jupiter is in Aries. So Jupiter is in Aries, which is Mars' main sign. So Aries is all about what? Starting new things, kind of, right? For yourself. It's all about, it's a beginning first fire sign, right? So you can possibly start new things that the guru will guide you to do. That is very, very good. Okay. However, on the flip side, we have Rahu in Pisces, which is throwing a ninth aspect on Mars. And Pisces is all about what? Letting go. But Rahu is all about illusions. Okay. So you combine these two. Jupiter's in Aries, which is Mars' main sign. And it's also getting aspected by Saturn still as well. And then you have Rahu in Pisces, which is throwing that ninth aspect. So what does this tell you right there off the jump? Jupiter's in Aries, which is all about starting new things. Rahu's in Pisces, which is all about letting go. And Rahu's, the bad one, and Guru's the good one. So just at a general sense, I'm not saying do this blindly. You might want to lean more towards, if you're trying to learn from your frustrations, guide yourself a little bit better, try to start new, better habits, okay? Don't try to necessarily say, oh, it's because of this person, let me cut them out, or something like that, right? Try to avoid illusionary detachments, right? We all want to blame things on other people. We all want to do this, that, whatever. We all want to cut this out, cut this negative energy, cut this toxic stuff. Okay, not everybody is toxic. Some things you're just going to have to deal with, right? So don't fall into that trap that Rahu wants you to fall into, okay? By the way, that's just in general for this whole Rahu and Pisces, but here especially, okay? Because it's aspecting Mars right here, okay? Yeah, and then Jupiter's in Aries, so you're going to want to use the Guru's guidance, and the Guru's also, being guided by Shani as well to say, hey, how am I going to start new things possibly to deal with frustrations, right? If, new ways of doing things like that, okay? For example, I'll give you a personal example. If you're dealing with certain injuries, right, or certain aches or pains, right, you're, from heavy exercise or something like that, say, hey, what are some ways I need to start doing, some things I need to start doing, like stretching or doing things in a slightly different way or something like that to avoid injury in the long run, right? This is just a completely random example that is just personal to me, but I'm just giving you one just so you guys have one, right? All right, like a genuine one from me. So that's that. Okay, so that's kind of how that ties in here. And then the last part of this was Sun. So Sun is with Mars. Now, the Sun's effect on Mars gets less and less throughout this transit, to an extent, right? Because they both kind of enter Scorpio together, and then the Sun kind of pulls away from Mars because it's kind of going quicker than Mars. It's not kind of, it is going quicker than Mars. So Sun is what? The ego, right? And the Mars and the Sun are both very hot. They're both on fire signs, right? Mars's main sign is a fire sign. Okay, and they're both in water signs. So you do not, basically what this is saying, Mars is trying to become more intuitive, right? So Mars is in Scorpio and it's trying to gain intuition, right? And Saturn's aspecting it. So through that intuition, it's trying to see, what can we do, right? And then because of Jupiter and Aries, what can we start doing, okay? Now, what you do not, in order to be intuitive and, make the changes, whatever we need to do internally, right? Now, because it all starts internally, right? Mars kind of knows this. Now, what we don't want to do is, not what we don't want to do, but what is going to happen is the Sun is there, so it's going to try to influence this whole picture with its external vision, okay? This is not necessarily a bad thing. The external world does matter a little bit, okay? It does matter. However, we just want to monitor the energies that the Sun is providing about the external, okay? So just keep in mind that, yes, you will be thinking about the external, right? But just be aware of it, right? You don't need to get caught up in it. You don't need to get dragged into it. You don't need to become obsessed with it. You don't need to become attached with it, okay? You can just be aware of it. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all from me today. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, you can feel free to let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you all very, very much for watching me.